Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do a little walkthrough, shop update, project update video for you guys. I know a lot of you guys get a kick out of these, and a lot of the owners of these vehicles are watching these as well. So if you haven't heard from me in the past few days, here's a pretty good update on exactly where we're at in this point in time. And here's a little merch plug. This is our modern take on a vintage trucker hat. These are the Level 7 Motorsports Speed and Vintage Speed, something like that. Either way, these are awesome hats. If you want to wear a flat bill, you can. If you want to wear them like y'all Southern boys do with this bent up, this is a medium bill, so it works. Anyways, buy them on the website now. If you mention that you saw them here on the YouTube channel, I'll give you a couple free stickers. Thanks a lot. We're going to start off by talking about Corey Ivey's truck first. Lemon Twist. It's a pretty famous truck. A lot of you guys have seen it either on our channel or on Corey's Instagram or United by Trucks videos. This truck's been around for a long time. Corey's a great friend of ours. Like I said, met him through Autocrossing Trucks years ago, and him and I have been really, really close ever since. So this truck is on one of the new Apex Predator chassis from Brian Finch. So we're kind of excited to be a part of the project with Corey and putting the truck back together. In Corey's home garage, he had already got the cab on it, and they had worked through 90% of mounting the bed to that chassis. We had to do some other little tweaks, fabricate some brackets to get the bed mounted, and now we're working on steering shaft, exhaust, brake plumbing, fuel plumbing, a lot of the stuff that chassis didn't come with. So just tying that up. Right now, Zach has been working on fitting the new column. This is something that some people do or don't know, but on a lot of vehicles with a steering rack, the rack is positioned pretty low. You know, back in the day, the steering box is right here, so it was pretty easy to get the steering shaft through. Nowadays, when they're way down, you know, the angle of the shaft, you know, is, it can be aggressive on the joint angle, I guess is what we're trying to say. So a lot of times what we do is we take these I Did It columns, and this one Corey already had, so we had to send it to I Did It to have it cut down. So we had this one cut down, and we're gonna put a grommet here, and then the steering shaft will make its way down to the rack. If you are buying a brand new column, we sell shortened columns from I Did It. So if you've got a rack, we need to move that joint up as close as we can to the firewall, so they make them shorter. So anyways, that's what Zach's doing now. He got the motor and trans fitted up, got the transmission bolted to the cross member, and like I said, just working through a bunch of Corey's list. The other day, he made a really cool fire extinguisher mount. This is a quick release. It comes from Safecraft, and it comes with a plate mount. And so on Corey's seat frame bracket, we made this, and it bolts down. So this will be powder coated, and pretty cool. So got that done. Just getting started on this project, so not a lot of progress yet. You guys have seen on this channel before video of Clay's 91 454 SS C1500 truck. There's a lot of cool stuff happening to this one. We've kind of been at a standstill, just waiting for the water jetter to get our big inner stiffener cut and broke for us. I talked to them this morning. It's cut. By the end of the day, they're going to have it broke. So tomorrow we'll have the inner stiffener. We'll be able to bolt it all together and burn that sucker in. So once that's done, a lot of the final structural welding can get burned in on the chassis, and then this chassis can come off the frame table, and then we can fit the cab. We already know that we're gonna have to do some clearancing to the where the firewall meets the tunnel. That's not high enough to get over this BMW Trans. It's got some pretty steep ribbing that comes up pretty high on the back of the motor. So kind of like right in here is where we're gonna have clearance issue with this transmission. So we know we got work to do to the cab. The drive shaft's being built right now. So these BMW transmissions have a drive flange, and that billet adapter flange that bolts onto the drive flange, it gives you the ability to bolt on a 1350 like a drive shaft yoke, or it's a bolt-on 1350 joint is what it is. So we're doing a 3 1/4 carbon shaft, and that carbon shaft will have a slip joint in it. So, excuse me, that shaft's being made right now. We should have it next week. We'll have the frame off the table next week. I guess some of the things that you guys probably haven't seen on the channel yet, but maybe in photos on our Instagram, is the rear suspension. This is all done now and turned out really cool. So we've worked with Cortex Racing. They've been a big asset for us in geometry, and they've been open with us about how to get all this stuff right. So we did a torque arm, a long torque arm on this truck. The torque arm mount will bolt into an adjustable mount that's in the tunnel of the inner stiffener. The torque arm can roll in here. We've got our pinion angle set, and once the pinion angle's set, that's when we need to decide where the lower control arm goes. And that's kind of the cool thing about a torque arm, is it doesn't really matter where this is at. We just need to know how much adjustability we can get in here. And to get the anti-squat where we wanted, we needed 3 inches of movement overall back here. So all that's done. So that's the rear link mount bracket that Zach fabbed up, and it's got the coilover mount in it for our JRIs. Once the JRIs get here, we're gonna build the mount off the back of the chassis. And then we did a spline bar. Speedway Engineering made us a custom width spline bar. We welded the housing into the frame, and then I turned Delrin bushings for it. And then we made some really quick release rear sway bar brackets. So if you wanted to change rate, either soften the bar or stiffen the bar, you can do that really quickly. Or if you're autocrossing and you didn't want the bar at all, it'd be really easy to just pull this one pin, and then you got bar rate gone. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Got a lot of slack on the internet from people that thought that one tab was all we were gonna do, but it was just for mock-up and photo purposes. So to make all you guys happy, I'm gonna show you that we've got double shear on that, and it's nice and strong. So anyways, we got OBSChevyRacing.com. They make these rear bolt-in frame brackets. And we've designed an aluminum fuel tank with a billet lid that's machined for our Australian fuel pump, the AI that we sell. It's got an internal surge tank in it, but we've got OBS Chevy Racing's brackets in, and had to do just a little bit of modification to get the actual rear bumper brackets on, but all that stuff's here. All the brakes are on, all that stuff looks good. Batteries mounted, all the fuel plumbing is done, and then we've got an M-cell, which is a battery isolator that's mounted just by the battery. And what we're gonna do is, in the fuel fill door, we're gonna have, you can pop it open, you can plug in the battery tender, or you can hit the kill switch that will electronically disconnect the battery. So if you're gonna store this truck for a while, you can hit the battery kill. Anyways, that's about the end of that project. Update. Our truck's in here. We're back from VIR. We also are doing a couple last minute updates before we head to SEMA. Putting a fresh set of front tires on it. We fixed a little oil leak, and then Peter's getting it cleaned up right now. So I think not next week, but the following weekend we head out to SEMA. So that's what's happening right now. Dylan's over here. He's working on John Shaver, or Razor Haven on social media. This is his truck. We just got the cab back from blast. There's a couple little dents and a couple little spots of rust that we didn't see early on that he's fixing now. And after lunch, we should be ready to put that cab on here for the last time. We've only got 1 or 2 little things to double check, and then the body will be ready for a full patina or faux patina paint job. So really excited about that. His chassis is pretty much done. Finishing up a fuel line connection underneath the blower, and then we're getting ready to start mounting all the air compressors, air tank, valves, battery, all that stuff. So that's where John's at. We've got a couple % left on this battery, so we'll see how far we can get. We're gonna shoot over to the other side. I don't think you guys have met a couple new members of the team. You probably met them, but didn't know that they were here. This is Jess Sadler. She is working in the office with Sean. She's got a lot of duties, whether they be social media based, inventory management. Sure enough, my camera died. Back at it now with a fresh battery. So anyways, you just met Jess Sadler. This is the other half of the Sadler team. This is Keith Sadler. For all of you guys that are ever gonna call in requesting parts information or to buy parts, if you're going to be shooting parts requests over via email or using the form on the website, this is the parts man. He is, we don't really know his official title yet. We've thought about parts manager, head of parts, but he's the parts guy. So anyways, he does a lot more here than just that. But if you guys are going to be working on a project at home and you guys need help with your parts, Keith will be who you would communicate with on the phone from now on or via email. That's going to free me up a lot to focus more on helping getting some of these trucks built and pushed through. So anyways, that's the 2 new people that we've got on board. Really happy to have built up a little bit of a staff here and help us be a little more efficient. So anyways, those are some of the updates that you guys have seen. New guys in the shop. As far as over here on this side of the shop, this is Jimmy's Blazer chassis. The body's over at the body shop getting painted. So hopefully by Christmas we'll have this thing back together. Really excited to see that truck with paint. I don't know if you've seen any renderings or not. Surely you haven't on the channel. Maybe Sean can put a rendering in here for you guys to see what Jimmy's Blazer is going to look like. But it's very, very cool. It's got that brand new Ford Bronco Area 51 bluish color with some Cerakoted trim, and I think it's gonna be really, really cool. So anyways, that's your waiting on the body to get back. And then we've got an engine package that we're getting ready to put together and Cerakote this and ship this to another guy that's working on his truck at home. So, hot new products. These are brake master cylinder spacers for your classic pickup trucks. These are for C10 trucks and these are F100 trucks. Why do we make these? So when you want to do manual brakes and you want to use a Willwood compact tandem master cylinder, you can use these to get them in the right spot. This one, for instance, is my favorite. These are for square body trucks, 73 to 87. So if you have the factory reinforcement panel on the outside of the firewall, you'll have to push your master cylinder out just a little bit to clear that. So that's what this spacer is, and it comes with all the hardware. Again, manual brakes only. 67 to 72 C10, this is more of a finishing plate. So if you took your brake booster off and your paint's a little jacked up behind it, put this on there and it makes it look nice and professional. F100 guys, you really need this one. Without this spacer, it won't clear stuff, reinforcement stuff in the firewall, and your push rod will be way too short. So this is for F100 trucks. Check these out on the website now. If you need help sizing what bore size to use with your master cylinder, let us know. We keep brake master cylinders in stock from Willwood. Thanks a lot, everybody. Anyways, that's the updates. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment on what you'd like to see more of. Please subscribe to the channel, like, follow, all those things you're supposed to do. But anyways, hope you guys are having a good week.